You are listening to Rockstar Parents, a podcast from me, Madison Malone, where I invite fellow musicians to have a chat about the hardest job on earth, being rockstar parents. On today's episode, I sat down with Althea Grace. Althea has been selling out stages around the world since she started touring at the age of 7. Her career has led her to share stages with the likes of Los Lobos, the Shins, Tedeschi Trucks Band, Colin Hay of Men at Work, and to write songs with Doyle Bramhall II and Eric Clapton, just to name a few. Althea was also a contestant on American Idol during the pandemic, where she captured the hearts of America. Althea is about as close to a sister to me as one can get without being my actual sister. Althea has an amazing story, and on today's episode, we talk about starting a music career at a young age, what raising her child through medical emergencies has looked like, and how moving to London has beautifully impacted her rockstar parent life. All right, everyone, I have the honor of introducing to you today American Idol contestant, Eric Clapton collaborator, worldwide touring artist, mama to 5-year-old Lennon, rockstar parent, Althea Grace.
Hey.
Welcome, Althea.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, today we're just going to have some really deep conversations. Audience, let me remind you that I ask all artists before they come on the show to send me their top rockstar career moments and their top rockstar parent moments. And then from that list, we curate our conversations. So Althea and I, we have quite the history, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We've known each other since we were babes.
Yes. We
Little
like
babes.
to say we were kind of creepers of each other before we really met.
Yeah, both simultaneously stalking each other on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met. And thank goodness both of us are brave enough to be like, so nice to meet you. I do know everything about you already, but it is so nice to meet you.
Seriously, it was just like, yeah, I've been seeing pictures of you online playing instruments that were too big for you because you were like 9 years old. I'm like watching you from afar in Wisconsin while you're playing in Illinois. I was like, she's so cool. I wish we lived closer together so that we could be friends. And then finally,
I thought you were super cool too. And that was
you better have.
That was even during your tutu phase, and I still was obsessed with you.
We did meet in a tutu. Was I wearing a tutu? No, that was for... Okay, just for
you wore those tutu skirts a bit.
I wore those tutu skirts a lot. It was like it was like 2010, 11, 12, all the way up to like 2015. And the day that Althea and I finally met, I think I was like 20 or 21. And so you were like 16 or 15 or something.
Yeah, sounds right.
And we actually met at a runway show that we were both singing at in the Wisconsin Dells.
Outside of a mall.
In the parking lot of a mall. Okay, so that's where we were. And I was wearing a tutu that day, walking the stage in like blue stilettos and singing.
You sang and you walked the runway.
You didn't walk the runway?
No, I said no.
Why did I say yes?
Because you're you. You're like, anything. I'll do it all. I was 15 and a little bit too angsty. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not interested. Thanks for asking.
So embarrassing. I love it. I have pictures from that day too. I was just like so happy to meet you. And then it was like, so that's where we actually met. And then we ended up living together in Los Angeles for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first of all, you took over my lease in Laurel Canyon.
Yeah. And then I lived with you while I was pregnant.
Yep. And then I was in the operating room with you while you gave birth. So yeah, we will get deeper into this conversation. Let's start off with a rock star career moment. These are two that I just want to merge together for a talking point.
Okay.
By the time Althea Grace was 17, she had already toured 35 states, and she recorded her first album at 14. What? Let's talk about that. How does this happen?
Yeah. So I think a lot of it was luck. and just being in the right place at the right time. I had parents who were really into music, weren't musicians themselves. Like, they could play, but they weren't, that wasn't a career thing for them. It was just something we did at home, was like sing together. And because of their love for music, we spent so much time going to music festivals and concerts and being around music and being introduced to people who were performing music as a living. Yeah, so I mean, the oldest like relationship that I have with bigger musicians and people that I met through my parents were the band Los Lobos. And that was like the first time I played with them, I was like 7. It was before I
Oh
even
my
knew that
gosh.
I like wanted to do music as my life.
So
And
cool.
they got me up on stage to play Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix.
Oh my gosh, that's
Um
great.
yeah, and so I like played with them when I was 7, and then later on when I decided, okay, this is my career, they ended up bringing me out on tour to open for them like as a teenager, which was
Wow.
really cool. Yeah, and
Yeah.
um just did a lot of like, I mean, as you obviously know, like played one show which was, silly and stupid, like, playing a open mic night somewhere, and then happened to meet somebody who plays another show somewhere, and it just kind
Yep.
of snowballed. And it was just one day, all of a sudden, I was playing gigs all the time. And it's weird to think about now as like a grown up, but I mean, by the time I was in high school, it was like get up
You were a
early in the
pro.
morning. Yeah, it was like getting up. I was going to school. I was going to night school so I could graduate early.
I
I was then
remember.
going to play a gig, and then I went to bed at 1 in the morning, and then woke up at 4, scrapped together my homework, drank a Red Bull, and went to school. And that was just like my
Yeah.
routine.
You were doing things as a teenager and as a kid that like most people don't experience that level of success and that level of touring and gigging until they're like in their 30s or 20s or something or 40s even.
Yeah, I mean, I play
You've
with
been
so
doing
many
it.
friends. I play with so many friends now where like, I'm still one of the younger ones,
Mhm.
but I play with friends now who are my age or in their early 30s, where they're the up and comers, the just starting out, the oh, I'm switching. I'm doing it. I went to college and I had my big girl job and then decided I wanted to do music, where
Right.
I haven't done anything else ever.
Yes, which is so cool. And I think it's something we'll keep talking about, but it's something that like makes you so special and just truly an artist that is
Thank you.
just sensitive, and you understand life, and you also understand life on the road, and you've seen so many things that only color your journey and make you a better
Yeah.
songwriter. And
Thank you.
yeah, when you were recording your album at 14, like what did you have to say at 14 versus what you have to say now? Let's start, like, what did you have to say at 14? Let's start there.
Yeah, I remember the record like very clearly. I definitely had a breakup song. I definitely had like a song about uh my like 8th grade boyfriend who broke up with me
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
made me angry. Shout out to his mom and dad because I still love them. Um still good friends of mine.
Good.
Invited to my wedding.
Oh,
Um
great.
yeah.
Happy
Um
endings exist, people. Happy endings are real.
Yes. But yeah, I have a breakup song about my 8th grade boyfriend. I have a song about like my parents fighting. I have a song about like wanting to fit in and be cool, and
I think that already just you listing off those topics shows how big of a heart you have and how old of a soul you have. And I hate it when people say old souls, because I do also think that that's an excuse to like put a lot on a young person's
mhm,
shoulders. But
trauma.
yeah, exactly. But even just those topics of you being like, these are the songs I'm going to write. I know the songs that I was writing at 14 were about like, it wasn't that deep. It was like just
Thank
trying
you.
to rhyme some words. Yeah, like you
Yes.
have you have this lens of like already having lived a big life by the time you were 14 and knowing the road really. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a gift that those songs
Thanks.
exist from you then as a time capsule versus like
Thank you.
now. What are you
Yeah.
writing about now?
Also, I will say I removed that album from Spotify, so no one can find it. But
I removed my first EP.
I do miss that EP of yours because I used to jam that. I probably have the CD somewhere at least, and if I still had a car with a CD player, I would play it. But
yeah, somebody just had it. They just tagged me in it. It's on their iTunes library. So like they had bought it on iTunes, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
yeah. Oh,
whatever.
I have some of those too of people being like, well, I still have it. I'm like, well, thank you for making me $7.
So at 14, you're writing all these deep songs and everything. I can only imagine that 10 years later, you're writing even deeper things, or now you're a mother and you're getting married in the summer. And so even if whatever songs they are, it doesn't matter if you're not writing right now, whatever it is, you've lived and experienced so much in the last decade that, like, where are you at now?
I think back when I was recording the first record when I was 14, I remember thinking like, oh, maybe I need a harder life. Like maybe I need to go through more things and I'd write better songs. And almost like wished for that. And now I'm like, you dumb little girl, thanks a lot. And obviously now like I'm writing about, like really bad breakups and like really hard times that I've gone through as a mom, Lennon getting sick and dealing with trauma of like really difficult things. Not to say that like either one is deeper than the other, but now the songs are about really intense life experiences that I've went through in a very short period of time. And the thing is too, like now life is much better and really great. But I think that that's always also been like my superpower with songwriting is that I somehow always manage to write a sad song even when I'm happy because I can like draw on what I used to feel. And maybe some days I just, am sitting thinking to myself, oh, I want to write a song, and something comes up that I didn't even know I was feeling about a situation that happened 3 years ago.
That's the whole thing that I think is interesting about songwriting is that's where I'm at now with the songs that I've been writing recently for this next album. It's like I have never been so secure in a relationship before, but I'm writing about a relationship from like 7 to 10 years ago, like that time period, and it's weird.
Yeah, I mean it's the same here. Like I'm getting married over the summer, and then last year wrote one of the like darkest songs about a breakup, and I'm out there performing it being like, this is a new song, and I'm like, oh, I hope no one thinks that like it's about my fiance. Like
I think it's just that our souls and our hearts know that we're protected, and then we're finally able to process that as we're feeling healed at the same time of being in a healing relationship because it's just safe.
Yeah. And yeah, the safe, I think, I wrote a song last year that will hopefully come out on potential new project very soon.
Yes.
But where I basically go tell my ex and his whole family and everyone that knows him to like, I don't, go to a bad place.
I'm just going to say F off.
I did. The song literally tells them to F off.
Good.
And I would never have written that when at that time I was so scared of him and so scared of everybody involved in that situation. Whereas now I'm like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a literal mother
Yes.
with a literal family. I do not care. I hope they care. I hope they feel some type of way about it. It doesn't bother me at all.
Good. Yeah. And let's go into a Rockstar Parent moment. The day Lennon was born. Let's talk about being a mother and what that was like all of a sudden. Day Lennon was born. It wasn't what you were expecting. You didn't think she was coming that day.
No. I mean not at all. But yeah, I mean I was living with you in LA, and then I moved into my uncle was like renovating his condo that he owned so that I could move into that condo. And I had maybe been at the condo for like 4 days.
I think it was
not even
like 2 nights.
Yeah. And the 2 days before Lennon was born, my kitchen flooded because a pipe had burst behind my refrigerator. And I was just kind of in like unpacking my apartment mode and nesting, trying to get everything ready. But I don't think my due date was until February, and she came 22nd of January. Yeah, I mean, it was just such a weird day. I remember, like, I sent my brother a picture of a Lego meme. I I texted you being like, everything's fine.
I think it was the only appointment I didn't go
It
with
was
you
it was
too.
it was literally the only one you didn't come with because you had studio time. And then yeah, I was like, I went into this appointment, everything was looking pretty normal, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, she's a little bit small. Maybe we should induce you in a couple days. Oh, just kidding. She's in distress right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember the doctor being like, you have until we get down to the delivery room to call everybody you want to call. And I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I think my mom was still working as a teacher at that time too. And I think I called her school, got them to send me through to her class. And I remember just being like, Mother, I know you're going to cry. I will hang up on you because I only have like 30 seconds to talk to you. I was like, I'm going to go have a baby right now. It's going to be a C-section. Please, you cannot cry. I'm going to have to hang up on you. And she's like, oh, but
yeah, your parents are in Illinois. Your family's in Illinois.
Yeah. Everyone's in Chicago basically. And then my dad ended up calling me back right before I went in, and he was like, I think it was something along the lines of, okay, great. Okay, Thea, everything's going to be fine. We're going to book some plane tickets. You got this. Like,
superhero Dave.
Just like, don't worry. We've got you. Good luck.
Clark Kent Dave. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that day. I was in the studio. We were doing vocals, and all of a sudden, Justin Glasgow, my producer, is like, baby, Thea, go to hospital. I was like, what did you just say? Because my phone had zero power or had no service. And it was from Helen. She had somehow found Justin Glasgow's phone number and like messaged him, and it popped up on his laptop on his Messenger app, and like my phone wasn't working. So I'm like, oh my gosh, where do I go? Like I knew where to go, but I was freaking out. And you were a rock star in that moment. You just were like, this is where we are.
I also think your wife Helen is the biggest like mama bear rock star for that moment, because to this day I genuinely don't understand how in a span of like, I called her freaking out, and she basically hung up on me because she was like, I've got this.
Yeah,
and, like, hung up on me. And how she in the span of like 5 minutes managed to track down someone's cell phone number that she had really never met before. No. The fact that she was able to get a hold of him is like unbelievable. I just don't know how she did that. Like to this day, that's the biggest mystery of that day for me. Like screw like emergency C-section, whatever. That is still something that I'd like to get down to the bottom of. Like, I want to know. I do know that there was some involvement of like where you had tagged an Instagram location, and it was very sleuthy. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It did have to do with an Instagram location, which is scary.
It is really
what
terrifying.
We're doing online.
Yeah.
I mean, and our relationship started with stalking each other, so it all connects.
And also,
you know?
I would not say that your wife is the most tech savvy.
She's not.
She's the woman who scrolls like.
She still she texts like this.
Oh yeah, she does with her front
pointers.
fingers.
I'm like, oh no, honey, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you had Lennon, and you had this whirlwind of a year, because that was January 2019. Then a year later, chaos ensued, really, in your personal life and also in the world, because it was 2020. And I don't even know how to say this without like just getting into this next topic, but it's like,
yeah.
Lennon then had to have a liver transplant about a year right around her first birthday.
Yeah. It was really obviously intense. You were there for all of it, you know.
Which I want to talk about this because it's a crazy Rockstar Parent moment. And just like, I had never witnessed this level of emergency in my life, and witnessing it through your eyes and your experience, and being like, you know, you're my family. And then it just led to so many other things. So liver transplant by the time she was 1.
It was basically overnight, went from like everything's fine in my life to being told that Lennon only had a few days to live if she didn't get a liver transplant, and basically had like all of my family fly from Chicago to LA. And it's so weird to think about now. I don't know if you've thought about this, like going to a hospital now. I can barely even get my fiance to be allowed to come with me to like a pediatrician's appointment. And we
Mm.
had like 15 people at all times sitting with us and comforting us and, being there with us.
Wow. Right.
And so like we were really lucky. We had everyone around us. It was a really intense time. And it was so strange because like obviously I would never say that the pandemic was good. Obviously we lost a lot of people and it was really scary, and it made our lives harder in a lot of ways, especially with a child who was like freshly immunocompromised. But it was such a weird time in my life because it was like obviously being told that my kid might not make it, and then we ended up staying. The first hospital stay was over 3 months,
Right.
where I slept every night in a hospital with her for
Yep.
3 months. But just before she got sick, I had just signed a new contract with a booking agency for the first time, getting all these gigs opening for like unbelievable people. I was opening for like Colin Hay of Men at Work, doing unbelievable gigs. And then Lennon got sick, and I was like, oh, my manager's going to drop me, my agency's going to drop me, my career is going to tank, like I'm going to have nothing. I can't work. I literally can't leave. And everyone was really supportive. And the thing is too, like they were just the kindest people and really made me feel, I mean, I canceled some really big gigs and no one made me feel bad about it at all. And then right when the hardest part started, like when I actually had to take Lennon home and I had to like do IV care, and I had to like, she had IVs, she had feeding tubes, she had like, I mean, I literally used to do 15 meds like 3 times a day. I had to give her shots. I had to do all this stuff. Right when that happened was when COVID happened. And it was almost this like glorious thing of like people weren't allowed to go to each other's houses. We all had to stay separate. We all had to do this. And during that time, post liver transplant, you have to quarantine for like 3 months in your house. You have to do that. And I
Wow.
didn't have to feel like I was missing out on anything. I felt like I'm really bad. I'm really bad with like guilt about not working. Like I'm really bad about having guilt for like not doing enough gigs, or I feel terrible when I'm not gigging enough, or when I'm not going out and networking or doing all that. And it was the first time in my life where I had like absolutely no guilt. I was like, this is what I have to do, and also there's a pandemic. I was like, I just get to like be home with my kid and take care of her. And again, it's weird because she got sick and it was really traumatic and it was awful, but it was also in a weird way like one of the best things that's ever happened to me, with like putting my life into perspective and my priorities straight. And if I never played a gig again, I wouldn't cry about it, because like I know what it's like now to have motherhood.
Right. Wow. Oh my God. I have chills. Oh, I'm emotional.
Don't don't do it. Don't do
Well,
it.
especially because you've been playing since you were 7. Like, Lennon's going to be 7 in 2 years, a year and a half. And so you didn't get that chance to just like be, because you were playing
Mhm.
so much, which you love doing, but it was just like a shift, like you said, of like having to prioritize and not having a choice because there wasn't another choice. Everybody was on lockdown.
I never was a person who like, I didn't go to high school football games. I didn't go to dances. I didn't go to all of my family events. I didn't, I missed a lot of stuff in everybody's lives and in my own life. So I think it was just so weird for the first time to be like, I want to be home. I want to be home. I want to be here doing what I'm doing. I mean, I have to, but also I want to. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like this. It's
And
great.
then you had this crazy thing happen where I don't even really know the details of it, but in COVID, I'm sure you got an email from American Idol. Or
Yeah,
how
so
did that happen? Because this is another rockstar career moment, but I'm also going to call it a rockstar parent moment because in shutdown, you get invited to be on American Idol.
Yeah, so it's really strange. Like when Lennon got sick, and then we were in the hospital for a few months, and then we got released, and we didn't stay home very long ever. Just because she was always in and out of hospital. But when we were home, I didn't have much to do, and like if she was napping, I had like my guitar and a TV, and that's it. And so basically, like, that was when live streaming started happening.
Right.
And there were these groups like on Facebook and groups on Instagram where you could like live stream, and people would watch you and, send you a tip and, help pay for you to get some DoorDash food or something.
Uh-huh.
And I was doing those, and one of the scouts for American Idol happened to be in that group because she
Wow.
was also home and quarantined, and she happened to be in that group, and she watched me and she sent me a message, and she was like, would you want to do this? Do you want to audition for American Idol? And I was honest, and I was like, I never have before, but what else am I doing? I guess for fun, like, and also like we weren't doing any in-person auditions until it was time to go in front of the judges. So
Right.
everything on the back end was like over Zoom anyways. So I was like, why not? Like, I'm bored. It's probably not going to go anywhere.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not going to get through. Like, there's no reason there's no way I get through, but like, I'm bored. It doesn't hurt me to like film a couple videos.
I can't believe that was your mindset. I remember when you told me, and I was like, yes, this is gonna work because one, mega talented, two, and I mean, this side of American Idol, that of like you have a story,
heartstrings,
and
yes,
right, and then it's like, okay, it's gonna happen. Like we're just gonna wait and see what occurs, and there you are,
well, and
capturing the hearts of America.
It was just so funny because I remember like every single round, like it was like, oh, I love the videos you sent in. It's a pleasure to let you know that you'll get to audition for the producers. And I was like, weird. Like, I'm going through the next round. And then I remember I auditioned for the producers, and the producers on the Zoom at the end like called me back and were like, we are so excited to let you know that you get to audition for Katy Perry and Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan. And I was like, come again? Sorry. And then I did that audition like in front of the judges, and they were like, you're going to Hollywood. And I just, every single time I just kind of was like, wait, I was just bored. I was just doing this because I'm confused. Like,
You're
literally the whole time.
You're bored on the couch, like raising a child and recuperating, like healing, having your healing moment in COVID while she's napping. Like you are recording yourself and being like, "Oh, I'm bored." Like that is not boredom. That is just, that shows you your whole soul of just like tacking another thing on and you being like, "Yeah, I can do this. I'm badass. I can figure this out." That is not boredom. That is amazing. Those are amazing feats and an amazing schedule of things that you had to do in a day. And that's a rock star career and parent moment.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, that was not boredom. That was just
yeah. It wasn't boredom, but it was just thank you. But it was just a bit of, like, I think for me, I just didn't expect it to go anywhere. It just was kind of a thing that I did for funsies. And then suddenly it was like, oh, millions of people are watching me sing on TV. That's
stealing the hearts of millions of people. I was getting DMs from like family members or people from my hometown being like, "Is that your friend?" Or, "Oh my gosh, right? I'm watching. I never watch. Like I haven't watched it in years, and now I'm watching this season because your friend is on it." And they all fell in love with you immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you still in conversation and have friendships with contestants still from American Idol or from fans that you met through American Idol?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still friends with like quite a few people from the show. I think when you're in that close of quarters with people for, a couple weeks, you really get to know each other, and a lot of us came out of it being friends. My friend Taylor Saxon is literally coming over to tour in a couple weeks and staying with me, and I'll play some shows with her, and yeah, it's really good. And we met at auditions. So, like you've got that. And then also weirdly, like now living in the UK, I went to play a show with one of my friends who was on American Idol. She came to visit, and she was like, "Can you play guitar for me for the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And we we met on American Idol as well. And there were some fans that came to that show who are, they're from like the north and have like really thick Geordie accents and are very sweet. They took like hours to come down to see Cassandra play, and they were like, we watched you on American Idol as well. And I was like, oh really, that's so sweet, like blah blah. And it was literally on Netflix in the UK during the pandemic.
Oh my
So like
gosh.
there was a load of people like all over the UK who watched us on American Idol as well, because our season was on Netflix during lockdowns.
Wow. That is so
Which is
cool.
really trippy.
It's just another thing that you get to say that you are a part of, and it is forever a legacy. And you have, I mean, I know I just asked you, like, are you still friends with these contestants? But as the audience knows and will continue seeing, we are friends. I know this. I know that they are still your friends. And
Yes.
I think it's really awesome that through the loneliest part of our existence ever, and then being the pandemic, and then add on top of that, like healing your child, you also then turned toward this community that you'll have forever, being American Idol.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really special that, you know, we got to make something out of a really terrible time.
Yeah. And now you're in London, like you said.
Yeah.
You moved from Los Angeles to London, and you're collaborating with people in London still that you know through the music scene, whether it's American Idol or like we've played together now when I was out there this fall. And what do you see in London music scene wise that's different than Los Angeles?
Yeah, I think obviously the UK as a whole is much smaller than even like states, like a single state in the US. It's definitely smaller than California as a whole state. So you're bound to have a bit more of like a sense of community naturally. And then on top of it, you know, you then have such a smaller percentage of musicians. For the most part, like everything that I do, people are just so excited about music happening here, where, you know, it's like LA, you can't throw a rock without hitting a musician, or a music venue. And here it's like, and obviously people who are from here might have a different opinion than me, but um, I just feel like people are so much more excited to hear new music and new artists, and they're still looking for it. Like they're still trying to create that community. Whereas in LA, I think sometimes it's easy for us to get a bit bored or a bit overwhelmed because everyone we know is a musician. Everyone is working in music. Everyone is doing something. Whereas here, it's like, you know, you still tell somebody that you're a musician and they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then when,
Yeah.
you know, and then also when they do know somebody who you might want to connect with, they're really keen to connect you to them because they're like, oh my gosh, that's so, you know, I do happen to know somebody who works for this person or whatever. Do you want to, I should introduce you guys. Like they're much, you know, more excited about it.
Yeah, which I was actually just talking to somebody last night about this, about how it feels overwhelming and also kind of like a feedback loop of constantly seeing artists all the time, because we're always just trying to write about our experiences, but a lot of our experiences in LA are shared with other artists who are experiencing the same thing of no's or failed tours or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
And there is something about living somewhere where art is not the main career that everybody has. And you're just like experiencing life and are able to draw from that, which is why I think Rockstar Parents, us parents who are also musicians, have a really, once we can feel the balance, I do think that there is something so grounding about being a parent and having something other than ourselves and our, you know, like, oh, let me just play a sad song on the piano, and having something like our child or our love or our family or whatever it is to ground us into like, okay, this is real life, this is what's happening, and I have to balance this with all of my dreams. And it's this balancing act. There's that mutual symbiosis of them being able to feed each other. And I have never been more emotionally stable, I feel like, in my thoughts of what a future can look like as a musician and as a parent. Because before I was just like, it has to happen, it has to happen, I have to make it work. and was just like flying like a kite. And now I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
have a purpose now, it kind of feels like.
Yeah, I think too, like I think because at the end of the day, if music didn't work out and I just, I don't want to say just a mom because just and mom should never be in the same sentence.
Yep.
But like if that was all I was doing, I like like I said earlier, like I just wouldn't be sad about it.
Mm.
It wouldn't be something that upsets me. Like if music was gone for some reason, I wouldn't be sad because I have that purpose and that like feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm a mom. And so for me, it's just made music so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like it's just made it like I don't have that when music was all I was, when it was like
Yes.
just me, before I had Lennon, before I was in a serious relationship, before I was doing any of that, and it was just me like bopping around LA trying. That was all I had. It was literally all I had.
Yep.
It would have been devastating to not have it anymore. It would have been so, like my life was over.
Yeah.
And now that I have this other purpose that will always be more important than music. Music's just fun again. Music's just like what I do because I like doing it, or it's my escape away from being a mom, but then I'm excited to come back home and be a mom.
I think it like really shows you if you're meant to be a musician or not. Because when I first had Bravo, I was like, I thought that I was just going to fall into this easy, simple pattern and it was just going to work out. And it's not. You have to work for it to be able to be a musician and a parent at the same time. It's really hard work, as you were just saying. But the thing that was like, oh yeah, no, I'm meant to be a musician and it can never leave me is because yeah, even after a long day or even after a sleepless night, I still would be like humming a song in my head or like thinking of a lyric or something. It's like, yeah, no, like we are these vessels that just like have music that flows through us and there's no way of stopping it. So I think becoming a parent has just proven even further, like it's changed our priorities, but it's also pushed our priorities further of like, this is who we are and we're going to make it work because there is no stopping that like spirit that moves through us essentially to create music. And now, okay, so this is another rock star career moment that I just think is, again, you say things so casually and you have forever since I've met you. And again, it's just like I am in awe of you always. But Althea Grace here wrote a song that Eric Clapton is playing guitar on. What is this song? Tell the audience what this song is, where it is, where can we listen to it?
So this song is Everything You Need by Doyle Bramhall II. After touring with Doyle for a while, I co-wrote like half of Doyle Bramhall's album, Shades, that came out in 2018. And some of the songs, like one of the songs, I even wrote one of the guitar parts, like the main guitar part, and then wrote the lyrics and the melody. And then a couple of the others, it was just like tracks that he had that he was like, I don't know what to do with these. And I listened and wrote the tracks and the melody, or wrote the lyrics and the melody. And then this song, Everything You Need, I wrote the lyrics and the melody from something that he already had. And then it was just kind of one day he was like, oh, by the way, I asked Eric to play on it. And I was like, Eric who? Like, who? And he was like, oh yeah, Eric Clapton, he loves it. He's gonna play on the song.
I'm like coughing
kind of,
over here again, just so casual.
Yeah, and it is. It's so casual, especially for them. Like people like that, it is so casual. It's just their buddies, you know. But for me, it was like, the man is gonna know my name.
Yeah,
like, and he did. Like, which is cool to be like, yeah, this like young up and coming artist wrote the basis of this song, and you're playing on it now, and just to know that like I don't know, something like that exists where like all these special people are on these tracks that I've written are mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's just like, again, adding to the wonderful diary of your life, like people that have come in and out and people that are going to continue coming in and out and forever that exists in the world now. And that's just so cool. That's like, I have to say this also. I remember in 2017 when you played at Arroyo Seco here in Pasadena.
Oh, yeah.
Althea gets on this stage with like, there were like thousands of people there. This was a huge festival. at the
Yeah.
Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And
Do you remember the green room was literally like the penthouse
yes.
boxes at the Rose Bowl?
And I remember seeing the signs of like Mumford and Sons, like they were, like
Weezer?
it was like Althea Grace, Mumford and Sons, Weezer. Yeah, it was so cool. I'd only been in LA for a year, and I was trying to convince you to get out to LA to move here.
Yes.
And then she just goes up on stage and is like, "You were singing with the Shins, right?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just so cool. And yeah, how old were you then? Like 18?
17, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying
You
to, yeah,
have
I
just
probably was,
lived
yeah, I
a
was like
life.
freshly 18. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was a weird experience to do that. I mean, feels like a fever dream now too. Like I feel like I'm reaching the point in my 20s where my brain has fully developed.
Yeah.
So now stories like that, I'm like, I really went and did that. Like I really got on a plane by myself, went to LA, freshly 18, and like sang at the Rose Bowl.
So cool. And now you're like, you've taken this whole thing and moved it over to London, which is just an international superstar, people, right here.
Slay.
Last thing I want to talk about is just to wrap it up in a neat bow. I love that you listed as a Rockstar Parent moment Lennon being able to harmonize with you and like hearing her say, "I love you." So the miracle of it all is, audience, I'm sure you've heard in the background. I'm going to cut some of the things, but there's a sweet voice that is speaking with a British accent now in the background. Yes. And that is the miracle that is Lennon. And I think it's amazing that as we're speaking about everything that has happened, it's still like at the end of the day, she's a 5-year-old kid who's like going to school and doing her thing and still like somebody that you're like in awe of and equally like, please drink your juice and watch your iPad. Like
and shush.
It's so real. That is just all of it. There's the juxtaposition of the like high love and the high gratitude versus the like, oh my gosh, mommy needs a minute. So when she started harmonizing with you, and well, before you even say that, I remember us being at the Troubadour, and I think it was the Troubadour. It was somewhere, and somebody was playing the drums, and she was like tapping along to the beat, and she wasn't even one yet. She's had music in her blood forever.
She was an infant, and she used to clap on time and like get really into music, and the funny thing is too, like I always felt really connected to Jimi Hendrix's music because my parents played Jimi Hendrix while I was in my mom's stomach. That was their thing that I always kicked when I heard Jimi Hendrix.
Cool.
And then Lennon's, which is so funny that the same thing has happened. All I listened to when I was pregnant with her was Stevie Wonder. And if we go anywhere, like we go to a restaurant, we go to the bathroom, and there's music playing in the speakers, if a Stevie Wonder song is playing, she looks at me all intense and is like, "Mommy, what is this?" Every time, and it's always Stevie Wonder. She's always like, "What is this?"
She has
I'm like,
deep...
it's Stevie Wonder. Yeah, and she's like, "I love it. I love it." And she goes, it's more, "I just love it. I just love it."
That is, it just shows too of like the cellular level of where music is in her bones.
Yeah.
What will you do if she says, "Mommy, I want to be a musician"? Because your fiance is also a musician, so she's coming up in a music household, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So funny enough, we've just signed her up for her first little like performing class. So it's like it's like an hour and a half every weekend, and she gets like 30 minutes of singing, 30 minutes of dance, 30 minutes of acting.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, and I think she'll love it. And like we like signed her up for sports. She didn't like it. I would support it 100%. I think when I was starting out and performing and all that, my parents were really supportive because I was so insistent on doing it, but they didn't know any of the like repercussions as well. So I think for me, like I actually feel like I'm in a really fortunate spot that I have such an understanding of like the ways to protect yourself and protect your art and protect your just everything about yourself, that I'm like, girl, be a musician. I have been through it all. I've got all the tips, all the tricks. I will keep you safe.
Yep.
Everything will be fine.
Yep.
Like, I know exactly what to do. So, I mean, yeah, I would support it 100%. Maybe keep her off Instagram for
Yeah.
a long time, but you know, like, let her have all the music stuff.
She has no better guide than the both of you. That is the truth. And also, too, I remember when you were pregnant with her, you're like, well, I hope she can be a drummer because I need a drummer. And then I remember when she started like clapping and tapping to the beat, you're like, wait, I might have my drummer for real.
Well, I always joked that, like, and no offense to any drummers out there, but I always joked that, like, I've never met a drummer who has everything that I like. I have like I'm an arsenal of drummers, and each drummer is great but missing what the other drummer has, and that drummer's great but he's missing what the other drummer has. And I basically was like, what if I just train her to be everything that I've ever wanted in one drummer?
Well, she already has the love for it. It's in her.
Then I have a drummer for life.
Well, I love you so much. And is there anything else you
you
wanted to talk about? I'm so proud of who you are. And even though you're younger than me, I look up to you. You're like probably one of the top like 4 people that I look up to forever.
I mean, you're the same for me. So,
and even like just being a parent before I was a parent was just so like, you are one of the people that I would call, text for anything, and I know that you'd be there for me. And instead of like freaking out on Google about whatever Google is telling me how I should raise my kid, like I can just text you and be like, hey, what did this look like for you? And that just means a lot, which is also why I love and I'm passionate about creating this podcast, because I think we need to have more open conversations about what it's like to be a parent, but also like juggling the balance of career and parenthood. And you are somebody that is a shining example of what it means to be a parent and a rock star.
Stop. I mean, it goes both ways though, because like obviously I used to joke and call you Daddy Maddie because you cut Lennon's umbilical cord.
Yes, I did. Forever call Daddy Maddie, please. Thank
Daddy
you.
Maddie. Don't ever call her Maddie, but you may call her Daddy Maddie.
But you can call me Daddy Maddie. That's fine.
No, I mean, obviously I was the first one to have a kid, but but also like I weirdly felt like we got to share that entire experience, and like you were so on top of it. And it was so funny because when you got pregnant with Bravo, I probably, anybody else had texted me that they were pregnant, I'd be like, okay, I'd be worried about this and this. Yeah. But you texted me that you were pregnant and I was like, she'll be fine. Like immediately I just was like, she'll literally be fine. Like you've always been so like maternal. But then also I just remember when I was pregnant, you basically like, you like made sure I ate all the nutrients I needed. You were like, you are not driving. Yes. I will drive you to the, like, you know, you were so on top of everything. And like,
to get this out, I think I still have it in my phone. Yep. Like here, December 11th, you were 32 weeks pregnant in 2018. And the 18th, you were 33. 25th, you were 34. I like have it in my calendar of like how many weeks pregnant you were. I have it. That's how obsessed I am with you. We got to do this. It's baby time. Althea Grace, thank you so much for joining us on Rockstar Parents. Everybody go stream her music. Anywhere you listen to music, look up Althea Grace. If you're in Europe, look out for some tour dates and new music coming. Go check out her Instagram at Althea Grace. And if you haven't already fallen in love with her from this episode, you will just find more things to fall in love with her about on the vast World Wide Web. I love you, Thea.
Thank you.
Yes,
of course. Thank you.